What's up, lifting aficionados? So someone sent me, actually a bunch of people sent me this article by FitnessVolt. Best natural bodybuilders, 18 natty lifters you need to know about. Natural bodybuilders are a dying breed, but these 18 athletes will help you keep faith in the sport. Normally I don't do natty or knots. I don't think there's a lot of value in them. So I figured because I normally don't do natty or knots, why not do 18 at once? And if you've ever messaged me like wondering if someone is natural or not, you've probably gotten the response of I don't do natty or knots. And if you keep pestering me, usually I will just stop responding because I have better things to do than debate if someone is natural or not in the DMs. So it says, in the age of Instagram, natural bodybuilders are hard to find. We did the hard work of unearthing the best natural bodybuilders who do not use steroids. Number 18, Steve Cook. The trouble is they clearly did not do very much research because if you just search Steve Cook natural, the first thing that comes up is a More Plates, More Dates article saying Steve Cook finally admits that he's not natural, which is true. He actually came out and said, hey, I'm not lifetime natural. Number 17, Geoff Seed. I don't know. Okay, because you never know for sure if someone has used or not used if they're in that gray zone. There's some people who it's very, very obvious, it's a slam dunk. Some people just admit it. Other people, they don't have a very impressive physique, but they still might be using. And so for a lot of guys, you just don't know. And this is part of the reason why natty or knots need to go. 16, Dante Franklin. That is a freaking huge dude, and that is a sweepy triceps. Okay, I have a pretty sweepy triceps, but I've got nothing on the sweep of this dude. Now, there does seem to be a little bit of squiggle in the wall behind him, but there's squiggles everywhere in the wall, so I don't know. Number 15, Lazar Angelov. Again, he has not claimed natural. He's claimed steroid-free before, where he was only on Clen and some other cutting drugs. Still not natural. And then later, he said straight up he's taken nandrolone. So definitely not natural. I don't know why he's even in this list. The writer clearly did not do his research at all. Next one, Mike Thurston. I'm skeptical. I think he has good advice overall. If you look at a lot of his old videos, there's a lot of gems to be found there. But do I think he's natural? I don't know. He says, oh, I store most of my fat in my legs. But his legs are looking pretty lean. And so when someone downplays their physique in this way, to me, it's always a red flag. Number 13 and number 12, Simeon, Panda, and Ulysses Jr. Both of these guys extremely developed, very, very shredded, lean year-round, and I'm very skeptical at this point. There was a video of them being asked the question on YouTube if they're natural or not, and there was a lot of like, you know, shifty eyes and chuckling and grinning and that kind of thing. And, you know, Simeon Panda is as big as Arnold. You think he's doing that naturally and staying lean year-round naturally? Really? Number 11, Paul Kruger. Number 10, Rob Riches. These are guys who are plausible. Okay, they're not super big. They're not super, super well-developed. Obviously, they're very, very impressive, but they're not out there. They're not, you know, into the high 20s FFMI and lean year-round. It's plausible. And again, you don't know because you don't see everything in their life, and so there's no way to tell for sure. Number 9, Anton Antipov. Anton Antipov is an IFBB professional physique champion. Red flag. It looks like this dude has been in shape his entire life. Red flag. By the way, in shape in the fitness industry means fucking shredded. Number 8, Brandon Lyrio. And I would say out of all the guys on this list, this guy is the most plausibly natural. He's very well proportioned. He has great lines, but he's not overwhelming in terms of the amount of mass that he has. If you look at his legs, that is not a ridiculous amount of development. If you look at his overall proportions and flow, nothing jumps out as being ridiculously developed. Number 7, Sadiq. Obviously, he's a huge name in the industry. He has 3.5 million followers on Instagram. He looks phenomenal, but not natural. He doesn't claim natural. He hasn't been natural for a long time, and so the fact that the author puts him on this list is pretty ridiculous and almost borderline naive. Number 6, Meshek Oshieng. It's a difficult to pronounce name. Hope I got it somewhat right. This dude's a fucking tank. I mean, he's 5'2", which does help with the proportions and how big you look, just in terms of the muscle bellies and everything like that. But 5'2", 170 pounds, that is fucking massive. That is a truly huge individual for his height. He does compete in 200% natural bodybuilding federations. I want to believe, but this is just a ridiculous amount of development. If he is natural, he's probably the most impressive natural guy in this list. Number 5, Derek Joe. This guy also might be natural. You look at his lines, you look at the muscle bellies, he's not overwhelming in terms of the amount of development that he has. And I think that's one thing where people don't look at in detail. If you see someone and they have the muscle bellies, the lines, the aesthetics, they're going to look way more impressive than they actually are in terms of the amount of muscle that they carry. Nothing in this physique, if you look at it bit by bit, is overwhelming in terms of the amount of muscle that he has. But when you put it all together with this tiny little waist, with this, these tapering lats, which aren't even all that big, it's just the taper that makes them look bigger than they are, you get a very, very impressive physique, even if natural. Compare that to number 4, Ryan Terry. And this is in stark contrast to the picture before. I'll put them side by side, and you can see just the amount of mass that is differing between these two guys. They both look great, they both look impressive, but Ryan Terry, he ain't natty. And to his credit, Ryan Terry is not claiming natural. The article is just claiming natural on his behalf for some very weird reason. Number 3, Geoff
Cavalier, AthleanX.com.
Rodriguez. Now it says here that he is 5'9", or 175 centimeters, and about 185 pounds, which is around 85 kilos or so. And that is not a ridiculous physique. Okay, I would say that is naturally attainable. Again, I don't know if he's natural, but it looks plausible. Number 2, Ron Williams. Now this guy is obviously very, very well developed, and he's also very well decorated. 7-time Mr. Natural Olympia, 7-time Mr. Natural Universe, 7-time Natural World, and a Hall of Fame inductee in the International Natural Bodybuilding Association. So he's obviously very well decorated, very well accomplished in the natural bodybuilding scene. Do I think he's natural? I don't know. But it's one of those things where in this picture, it honestly looks like he's an IFBB pro. It looks like he's close to 250 pounds and shredded. In reality, he's closer to 195 pounds at 5'11", which is around 25 to maybe 26 FFMI, depending on the body fat percentage, which is not a ridiculous amount of muscle. It's very developed, but it's not out there. Number 1, drum roll please, Michael Hern. Yeah, the guy who people turned him into a meme. Oh, Michael Hern, Michael Trent is my favorite natural bodybuilder. Actually made it into this list. Someone with 21-inch arms and who is shredded or very, very lean year-round at the age of, 52, they actually consider him to be natural. And honestly, half the article reads like satire, but then half reads like not satire. So I'm just confused when I'm reading this article. And I don't know why they even wrote this. Because anyone who would write this in good faith clearly doesn't know the fitness industry very well. And the conclusion of the best natural bodybuilder list should come as a confirmation that with the right training, diet, and recovery programs, even natties can get as big as the IFBB pros. There's sort of two camps in this natty or not debate. There's the very optimistic people who think, oh yeah, someone is 6 feet tall and 230 pounds and lean year-round and shredded and vascular. It could be natural, like we don't know. We don't know. And then there's the pessimist who think that this entire list is not natural. For some people, if you have any kind of a decent physique, you're not natural. Like I get fake natural accusations. And that's why I try not to throw shade unnecessarily, because it's something that is literally impossible to defend yourself against. Even with a drug test, even competing in these natural federations, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily natural. Tested doesn't mean natural. It means you have to be more careful with adjusting the dosages and whatnot. And honestly, FitnessVolt should take this article down. because it's a joke and everyone can see that it's a joke, okay? 10 years ago, this would have been like, oh, I don't know. But by now, pretty much everyone knows what is naturally attainable and what is attainable for enhanced lifters. And I often get questions, mostly from beginners, who say something like, what should I use as a goal physique? What are realistic expectations? Regardless of if these people are natural or not, I think some are. I know some, well, I'm pretty sure some are not. I don't think any of these guys are realistic expectations for a trainee, because an average trainee is going to be, by definition, average. And even if you're above average, this kind of physique is going to take a long, long time to build naturally. We're talking probably a decade, even if you have the genetics. And if you don't, it's never going to happen, probably even with steroids. So you have to take into account the natural or not thing, but also the genetic component. Is it possible to take inspiration from some of these guys' physiques and some of their transformations? Absolutely. But more often than not, comparison is the thief of joy. And most people that I see comparing their physique to other people, especially those in the fitness industry, it's not positive. It's a hugely negative thing. So I would say maybe don't even compare yourself to other people, because usually it doesn't end well. To the author of this article, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Do you really not know about anything? Was this just for attention? Because if so, you got it. Like 5 people sent it to me. Are you really this naive? You really shouldn't be writing about fitness if you don't know very much about fitness. All right, that is all for this video. Like, share, subscribe, do YouTube things. Definitely grab a copy of my book as well. It will help you a lot on your natural or unnatural, I guess, if it'll still be helpful. Anyway, fitness journey. Peace.